and we will be muted, remember. There we go.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show.
Good morning.
I'm Dana Dubois.
I'm Lawrence Winterman.
Lawrence, I like what we've done with the place.
Yeah, we're trying.
We are. It has been quite the weekend for trying. I can't tell if it. Oh, we are live on Substack. It worked, you guys.
We did it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy, and I am so.
There we go.
Okay, we're muted on there. Welcome, everyone. I'm debating which monitor to put everybody on to keep track, but yay! Thank you, Kat. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Soso. Yes, we look a lot better when there's two of us. We loved having our three friends here on Saturday, but boy, we were like teeny tiny little boxes.
Yes, we fiddled with things all weekend, and it may have driven me partially insane, but we did it. Yes. And we're up and running. Oh, Melissa, we're proud of the fact that we're using Restream and it's actually working, and properly live on Substack and YouTube at the same time. And for somebody who is somewhat technically adept, I'm proud of myself that I got it working even after things didn't work so great on Saturday.
Lawrence, there was a for all of you to know, late night Lawrence this time, like, oh shit, I'm locked out of my account, I need you to go post this stuff. I can't. Tomorrow we're supposed to talk about my story. I can't publish it because I'm locked out. We weren't sure Lawrence could even join today. It all depended on if this new tool Restream was working properly. It was kind of a sick pit in the stomach, wasn't it, Lawrence?
It was. Yeah, I was honestly freaked out last night. I thought I was locked out of Lawrence Winterman science fiction, and potentially, after that story of the woman who tried to make some small change to her account and ended up losing her entire Substack account and all of her work, I was terrified that I had done that, and thank God I didn't, and it worked out. But my goodness, it was a crazy weekend, and we're trying to do something fun and innovative here, and Dana, I was laughing because you're in tech, there's this phrase, there's this belief in tech that all the tech bros love to say, move fast and break things, man.
If you're gonna fail fast.
Right, fail fast. You got to be scrappy and take chances. And last night at midnight, I was, sitting here weeping at my desk and thinking, no, fail fast and break things sucks. That's stupid. Fuck that.
It's not good if breaking things means I lost all of my creative work.
Right. Or I'm locked out of Substack, or, or nothing is going to work properly. So.
Right. Yeah. Should we first kind of take a minute to talk about what's new, why we look different today. We're blue in the background, which is confusing me, but does it look blue for everybody or just for me?
Just for you.
Oh, okay, then fine. Let me
Yeah.
go look at it in this window. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's just in the Restream.
Right.
Wow.
The Restream's dashboard has a blue background, and don't pay any attention to that.
Okay, good. Blue is not my signature color.
Yes, we are.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, I was pulling up the whole screen. So, Lawrence, why don't we start with what is Restream, and maybe a little why are we on Restream today?
Uh, so yeah, we talked a little bit about this on Saturday. So I think everyone knows that Dana and I have been doing our summer pledge drive because we hoped that there were kind of additional features with Substack that we would unlock when we got to those levels, and when the Siren launched a couple days ago, last weekend, I guess, or sometime last week, I realized that it's not that they had access to some feature of Substack, it's they were using a tool. There are these tools, restreaming tools, and there are a bunch of them. There's Mux, and there's OBS, and Streambird, StreamYard, something like that. I always get it wrong. And Restream, and they're basically just tools that you can go out and buy, and they allow you to do things like add customization to your stream, have more than 3 people. And we saw that we tried that on Saturday, and one of the first lessons we learned was 5 people is too many for a stream.
Yes,
You know,
especially 5 chatterboxes.
5 chatterboxes, and when you try to do all the bells and whistles at the same time, it's overwhelming and it's not a fun experience for the people watching. But the cool thing that it does is it allows us to stream here on Substack, which is our forever home. We are not leaving Substack, but we also, over the weekend and the last couple of days, I set up a YouTube channel and a Facebook page where we can stream live on Facebook, and an Instagram channel and a TikTok channel. And we'll be able to stream in all of those places simultaneously. So it's exciting for us. We're hoping to kind of bring more people on board into the whatevers. And Dana, maybe we want to talk about kind of what we're thinking in terms of show format, and how, like, our goal is that we want to be a morning show, not a like every minute is politics show, but a fun place to hang.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about what is the Daily Whatever and what do we hope it to be. And what we kept coming back to was those old school morning shows. We Gen Xers remember very well. I know they still exist, but there's so many other options now. They don't have the same power that they had when we were growing up, when there were maybe 5 radio stations tops to choose from, and each of them had personalities in the morning who you knew. And you woke up and started your day with these folks, right? They were presenting the news sometimes, they were doing weird pranks sometimes. I don't know, it was the 80s, they were being mean. Um, they were just entertaining you, and they were your familiars in a way. And of course, they were playing music, which we can't do because unless we have people coming on playing their own, undiscovered music, we'll get into licensing issues. But we plan to bring on guests and fill that gap. So much like I am always here with my morning cup of tea, who do I have today? I have Ruth Bader Ginsburg Resist today. We want to be a place that is a politics, yes, but more a politics culture community hub in the morning for an hour where you can check in and kind of be a part of our friendship, be a part of what we were already doing in the morning, which was calling each other and being like, hey girl, hey, what's up with you? and
Hey
sometimes it was,
girl, hey.
hey girl, hey. I know you're not a girl. It's an expression, like, dude.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
yes, it is. And so we would like more flexibility to bring people on. Another Gen X entertainment metaphor is the Tonight Show and shows like that, all the late night shows that have persisted. That when they have multiple guests, they can time them so that everyone comes on for their 10-15 minutes, and also they can stick around and kind of move down the couch a seat. You know what I mean? Like uh, and be a part of the conversation, but not hopefully all be over talking one another. I think we still have some room for improvement there. I'm still laughing about Saturday, which was just kind of like, oh my God, we're all talking. We were completely unrehearsed. We are
Uh,
so grateful that the
I'm
three
sure
of
you
them
couldn't tell,
joined
but
us.
we were completely unrehearsed.
So, and I want to give a nod here to Lawrence. I also want to make sure we keep an eye on the chat here. So happy to see everybody. Um, I I want to give a nod to Lawrence as someone who is so tech curious. The Siren debuted on Thursday, and I know this because I saw JoJo from Jers make an announcement with this big splashy image about the Siren. If you haven't checked this out, it's pretty cool. It's a liberal news network, like a media outlet. They have 10 contributors. I'm not entirely sure what their schedule is and when they'll each be on, but they're all branded under this umbrella of the Siren, and they want to be able to make an impact in terms of influencing elections and the political zeitgeist for liberals, for Democrats. Awesome mission. And what really stood out to us was, how do they have 10 people on the screen? How are they broadcasting on YouTube and also here? Lawrence immediately was like, "Oh, it's a tool called Restream. I'm going to go research it." And in a day, Friday, figured it out pretty well. So, round of applause, Lawrence, for being
Thank you. Thank you.
tech curious and tech savvy, because I never would have would have been like, one day I need to explore this tool. We should look into it. I'm astonished at how much you did. So going live Saturday was intentional, that it was quick. We wanted to push and see what it could do. Um, we did find things that broke, like it broadcast on Dana Dubois Writes, not on Gen XC. So our audience was pretty small because Dana Dubois Writes is a lot smaller. Maybe good that it was small, right? Um, but another thing that I don't know if it's that evident, is it allows us to use webcam and a web mic. I have a microphone right here.
Right. We're on our computers, which is,
Yes.
partly we look different because we're I'm on my good webcam. We're in 1080p. Like I feel like the images look better than from the phone. So
Yes. And
yeah.
this might be a good transition, Lawrence, that Melissa's saying, Lawrence, impressive to learn a new CMS in a day.
Right. Well, I just
Um,
replied and said, secret fact, my entire career has been learning CMSs.
yes.
And Karen said something very sweet. Karen said, we need more Lawrence talking. Okay. I will talk more. I promise.
Okay. I'll zoop. Actually, we want more Lawrence talking. We also want to hear from you.
Right.
I think that a big part of today's show is um, kind of talking about what went wrong. Oh, and you need to talk more about the details of what happened to you so people don't do it on Substack. We also want to hear from you all in the chat, both about how this is working, looking, sounding, but also, well, the future of who we are. We want to hear from all of you because we feel like we're growing up together. And Lawrence, I'm going to let you talk because I'm talking a lot this morning.
Thank you, Karen. Karen said, we love you, Lawrence. Thank you. We love you guys too. And we feel really lucky and privileged that we, 5 months ago, by the way, the 8th was our 5-month anniversary. So it's kind of hard to believe it's only been 5 months. And we we created this show that, like Dana said, is, really just kind of about our friendship and the fact that we, talk every day and shoot the shit about whatever. And, we feel really lucky that we've got such a great audience. Like, we genuinely love everybody who's here, and we look forward to spending time with you every day. And we want this to be fun for you too. And so, I think the reason people come back is because they're having a good time and they've made friendships and formed relationships. And we could talk at length about parasocial relationships, and we probably will at some point. But what we really want to know is, like, what would make this even better for you? So we think having kind of access to this tool might make things better in terms of sound quality and visual quality. And being able to stream simultaneously other places can help us grow the community even bigger. And hopefully drag people over to Substack, because this is our home. This is where we want people to subscribe and be the first choice in viewing us. But tell us what works and what doesn't work. We reached out to a couple of people over the weekend to kind of ask opinions, and we got really clear, honest answers about, like, what's fun and what isn't fun. And we know we've been skewing maybe too much politics. Partly that's, we're drowning in the sea of politics, the tidal wave of politics that Trump has brought about. But we want this to be a place of community first, and not always about the dread of politics.
Yeah.
Karen says, I love ice cream, but not all the time.
Karen also said the chat is awesome. And
yeah, no, the chat is awesome. The chat is, like, we think one of the best parts of this entire thing. And and so we want to find ways to strengthen that and make it even better.
Lawrence, I want to bring up a question from Musings in the chat.
Yeah.
He is saying, does the chat show up on YouTube? If so, is it saved there? Do you want to talk a little bit about the beta and the chat and how that all works?
Yeah. So I know, we heard pretty clearly that, like, people don't want all the bells and whistles, but I'm gonna show you guys something right now. One of the things that got me excited about Restream, that got us excited about it in the first place, was I'm gonna have to maximize my window here. So here, I'm about to show you something. We are getting comments from YouTube. Joe is watching us over on YouTube, and we can show chats on screen here, except I'm going to turn this off now because this is in beta in Substack. We're not getting Substack comments integrated. The goal, like what Restream is trying to do, is we could be live on YouTube and Facebook and Substack at the same time, and all comments and all chats would be put in that stream that we could show on the screen, and then we could record the chat with the video, and we could respond to comments from everybody wherever they're watching it. And so that will be really cool if and when they actually get the integration up and running, and that works. But it just doesn't work right now, if that makes sense.
It does. It was a little tricky to find us on YouTube. I just did. The sound started playing, so I closed it. But Melissa, you had asked for the URL. I had put one to our channel, and then there's one to the actual live that's happening today.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's the one thing that's confusing is the chat and this. Before it was the phone versus the laptop, and now it's two tabs that look identical, but one of them is 8 or to 10 seconds behind. There's a few different pieces of chatter in the chat about politics, and one of them is it's possible to talk about it without being doom and gloom and rage baity. 100% true. And I think there's ways to talk about it that can be constructive, that can be that can be funny, fucked up Friday. And we will continue to talk about things as they are happening, but it and they will influence the lighter weight things we're talking about, right? When we're talking about parenting, politics has an influence on how we do it, or relationships, or whatever it is. Um, but it won't be the only focus here. There are loads of places that are doing it, and we do want to keep a sense of levity here. That said, I'm seeing Kat in the chat saying that Trump's about to come on TV and possibly proclaim martial law. Is
Yeah,
this
so
happening right now?
there is a press conference this morning. Trump
Mm,
is announcing a DC beautification thing, which is
mm.
actually kind of the government power grabbing the control of Washington, D.C. away from the duly elected mayor and city council, and
Oof.
potentially rolling out military forces into the streets of D.C. It is not great, for sure. I don't know that we could characterize it as declaring martial law nationally, but definitely it's going to suck in DC. And
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean it's another thing that we need to protest, and another thing that we shouldn't allow to stand. But yeah.
I
So
just
hey, I just dropped a link for our link tree in the chat, and all of the stuff, all the new socials and everything that we signed up for, go there. There's also a shop on the link tree that has our merch in it. We do have a merch shop on Gen XE. And I just want to say something about merch real quick. We aren't rolling out merch because we're, like money hungry. I know maybe people could possibly perceive the fact that we've got merch as, I don't know, we're trying to. I heard this piece of feedback from somebody, and to me, merch has always said this organization is pro, right? Like these people have their shit going on because they got merch. And the other thing that I'll say is merch for me is a thing that I'm learning, right? So Alpaca Lunch is my side hustle upon a side hustle, and I love doing it. I love designing t-shirts. It allows me to flex my maybe underdeveloped graphic design muscles that I've always wanted to use. And it lets me kind of have a little business that I can run from the comfort of my office. And so, if anyone feels weird about the fact that we have merch, like, please just know it's a passion project of mine. And it feels like a way that we can reinforce Gen XE and kind of share our brand. And I'm glad that people got excited about the whatever t-shirts. Bunch of people ordered them, which is amazing. So that's my plug for merch. It's I guess maybe if you could look at it with sort of the benefit of the doubt that we're not doing it to try to cash in. We're doing it because this is a thing that I'm teaching myself to do, and I love doing it, and it makes me very, very happy.
Thank you, Lawrence. We like to talk a lot here about how Gen X is both multi-hyphenate and late bloomers who are coming into their creative power. This is completely your creative power. The t-shirts on Alpaca Lunch, in addition to just the Gen XE ones, are really funny. And it's just kind of your wacky t-shirt shop. So I
Right.
love it. And it's you guys should check it out. Just to have a good laugh. And then if you want a good t-shirt or mug or tote bag or what have you, there they are. It's another example of how you were like, oh, here's a tool. I'm going to jump in, figure out how to use it. And here we go. I figured it out really quickly. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, I really like it. And I was thinking as you were talking, Lawrence, regarding talking about politics on this show, whenever anything happens politically for decades, the first person I call is Lawrence.
Right.
And when
Right.
September 11th happened and my phone rang, it was Lawrence waking me up to say, we're under attack. You need to wake up, because it was very early here in Seattle. So maybe that's the way we frame it, is like Lawrence is your friend who, knows what's going on and has really interesting feedback and context to provide for the news. That like what you just said, I would call you panicked and be like, "Are we about to be in martial law?" And you would say, "It's not great, but it's not national martial law yet." Fair summary.
Right. Which,
It's just
yeah,
a little martial law.
right. It's just
Just
a little martial law. What just for DC? What could hurt? No, I mean it's bad, right? Like it's bad
it's
news. And also it's not national martial law yet, and I don't know,
yeah,
like maybe seeing this happen in DC can get everybody activated to the point where we can actually push back and do things like the general strike that we keep trying to pull off. Um, yeah, and I would agree. Like this morning show is about our friendship first and foremost, and for 47 years, and like I was the political kid in fucking middle school and high
yes,
school, like
can
we
attest, can attest. When it was like, why do you care about that stuff, nerd? Nobody cares about politics. But here we are.
here we are, and
Lawrence, I will say
oh
one thing about the new tool, and
yeah.
I don't know if this is just me or everybody, but I can't see how many people are in the live chat. Usually in the upper right corner near the chat, I can see.
If you're following along in Substack, in the Substack chat, we can see how
Yes,
many people are here.
I cannot.
Again, so here's the thing. So Restream is kind of like a pretty well developed tool. I was going to say fully baked. It's not fully baked. They're still improving it. But Substack is only in beta with any streaming service, right? So, and I'm not 100% convinced that Substack actually wants all of the restreamers. Like I said, they're like 5 or 6 tools, major tools that are trying to compete in this space. I'm not convinced that Substack is actually excited about them. Um,
True.
it is in beta in Substack, and so we can do it, but it's not fully integrated. Like
Right.
if you set up Restream on YouTube or on TikTok, they're all in, right? Like it's fully
Yeah.
integrated. Like you can see all of the people in in the YouTube chat, and like it's just fully baked in. And Substack, it's not fully baked in yet. So we still have to watch the Substack chat to see the actual chat comments and to see how many people are in the live chat. We've got 39 folks right now. Thank you for being here on Monday morning. And I was going to do one more merch plug, which is this is my newest shirt. So this is a flag. Y'all know that I'm a vexillologist, which means I love flags. God loves flags. And
Is
this,
that for your book?
yes. So this is a
Oh,
shirt that I did. Well, it's a shirt I
oh yeah.
designed. It's a flag I designed for Seattle. There was a competition to make a new flag for Seattle a couple years ago, and I
Oh, I
designed it
remember
and
that.
fixed it. And so this is my Seattle Free Republic of Cascadia. In my book, this is the flag that flies over Seattle, and which is the capital of Cascadia for the first part of the book. So,
Uh-oh. Seattle isn't the capital eventually?
uh,
Spoilers.
yeah, if you've been paying attention to the book, the Cascadia City is the multi-billion-dollar project. They're moving the capital from Seattle to Cascadia City so that Seattle doesn't have too much power.
Where's Cascadia City? Sorry, I don't know the map by heart, but where?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Eastern Washington, Cascadia City is just at a bend in the Columbia River around the Tri-Cities.
Ew.
So there's actually a vineyard there, or there's a, what do they call it? A wenological region called Horse Heaven Hills.
Oh, really good wine comes out of Horse Heaven Hills.
Yes, well, it's getting plowed under for a capital city.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I had to make a compromise. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I love it. Is this a good time to transition to talking about your latest chapter, which is thankfully live today.
Mm,
And
yeah.
yeah, I feel like it is. I do want to encourage everyone in the chat um, to continue to weigh in with suggestions and things you like, things you don't like. I think we may even keep asking for this during the week. I saw that Kat posted, boy, the chat is flying by here. I love that. You said something about how you liked us on our phones, that it had like a more homegrown quality to it. That's good feedback and good to know. I feel like the camera on my phone from overuse is so scratched that I looked really fuzzy. Um, but thank you. Noble, I see you wrote love that you know that, Dana. I'm not sure what
Horse
that
Heaven
is.
Hill, I think.
Oh, Horse Seven Hills. That makes sense. I have a small background of having worked in the wine industry very briefly. So some things about Northwest Wines I know. And Robin said you made a flag for a fictional place in your book. That
I
might
was
be
just
the nerdy.
replying to that, and I was just
Oh,
typing, yes, Robin, not only did I make a flag for a fictional place in my book, I made flags for all the fictional places in my books. I also made maps for all of the places in my book.
you just exceeded the nerdiness.
Right. Yeah. Actually, Dana, carry it for 1 minute. Hang on, I'm going to grab something and prove to you how even nerdy beyond I am. Hold on.
Carrying it without Lawrence. How about we watch? We can do ASMR on the microphone. We really need to get Lawrence to do the ASMR on the microphone. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
All
Lawrence,
right.
you
This is
framed it.
the this is the framed map of North America in 2041.
Oh my God.
After the Second Civil War, after you can look, you can see both my ring lights and my digital clock. Yeah, so this is how nerdy I am, Robin. I made a map of the fictional
Oh my
universe,
God.
the book that I'm writing, and then I printed it and framed it. So
That
yeah,
is
t-shirts, maps.
next level, Lawrence. Truly next level. I we all love that you're this nerdy about your passion project. uh, anyhow, we're gonna get in and we're gonna read, and also, yeah, tell it. Well, I'm debating, Lawrence. Do we jump in and have you start with your story, or do we ask more specific questions about like what would you like to see staying the same or changing here? What do you think, Muckraker?
Um, I mean, I'm excited to read a bit of the story and kind of talk about it. This is the segment that I was going to read today is kind of a pivotal moment in one of the big arcs of the story. Robin says, "Put Canada back." Robin, Canada takes over. Well, okay. BC becomes part of Cascadia, and Saskatchewan and Manitoba and oh my God, why am I blanking on the other one?
Alberta?
Alberta. Jesus, thank you. They all become part. They get taken over anyway. But there's a country on the map called the United States and Provinces of North America, and it's basically Canada. Ottawa sort of takes over the northern seaboard after the United States collapses. So I don't know if you noticed, the map was backwards in the camera, but Quebec is its own independent country, the République du Québec. Yeah, so there you go.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm saying bye to Sinmac, who's going to
I've been
do an
that
exercise class,
fun
which
working
is
out.
good for you. That's awesome. I While you read, Lawrence, hold on. Am I able to change the showtime? Do you want to change it? Do you know what I'm talking about? We're going to show a restream feature.
Oh, wait, what are we showing? I don't
I
know.
think it make you big and me little.
Oh, right,
If
right.
I click this first one here, I think it'll do that. Should I
Okay.
try?
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
nervous. Okay, here we go. No, I think this one. Yes.
That okay. Is that what you want?
Don't you guys think? You don't need to see me while Lawrence is reading.
All
And I
right.
should add, this just went live like 10 minutes before we did. So I don't know this story.
Oh,
This is new. So
okay. Yes, I will read. I'll read this segment, then we could talk about it.
okay.
Um, and I hope people don't mind the fact that sometimes Dana and I read our work. We're writers first, right? And um, it feels really exciting to be able to share my work in this way. And I try not to read the entire chapter and just a segment of it because it would be too much. Um, but it is please thank you. Well, thank you for indulging us because I know we both like doing this. Um, Joe is making t-shirt requests. I can do that, Joe. I will make a t-shirt for you and I'll let you know when it's up on the store. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to do this. I'm going to read. Yeah?
Yes. And I'm going to be in the tiny corner nodding along and smiling while you read.
Aw. Just like a good woman should do. Kidding. Oh my God. I'm kidding.
Just like a good best friend should do, supporting your creative work. It's not the patriarchy, it's just being a good friend.
Right. We're not the patriarchy, we swear.
All right, go for it, Lawrence.
All right. So this is chapter 5 of the book. The book is Light Shines Through, book 1 of the Shattered World series. Chapter 5 is Jackie. November 2041, Seattle, Tahoma, Free Republic of Cascadia. There's old school Bollywood music playing in the background from an apparently inexhaustible playlist that Lakshmi has queued up on the music server in the lab. Jackie is lost in momentary wonder at what she has heard in the last hour. Has it only been an hour, she wonders? It doesn't seem possible. New music and the mind-blowing information Lakshmi and Doug are sharing with her have made time stretch and warp like the summertime taffy her mother used to make in what seemed like a different life. So I just need to go over this again from the top, Jackie says during a lull in the music. This, she says, motioning to the whiteboard and the laptop that has been the focus of their world recently. This came to you in a dream? She tries to keep the incredulity and doubt out of her voice, but she suspects that she doesn't succeed. Lakshmi trades a look with Doug and nods at Jackie. Look, I know it sounds absolutely stark raving mad, but it's not completely unheard of. Jackie interjects, as in, oh, look, I dreamt of an Ouroboros and now I've discovered the shape of benzene. Lakshmi laughs, a sound of genuine mirth. Yes, and points to you for knowing that story, exactly that. But seriously, think about it. I've been working for years on exotic and quantum materials for Helios 2. She shrugs, an elaborate motion that seems to include her whole body. And I don't know, my subconscious put some things together and showed it to me in a dream, where you saw an equation named after you in a book from the future. I mean, sure, but it's the most literal metaphor you can possibly think of, isn't it? Like Dream Lakshmi was saying, hey, waking Lakshmi, here's the next thing for you to work on. And then you came in here and wrote the math down and tried it, and it worked. Lakshmi nods and then hesitates and waggles both of her hands in equivocation. Well, sort of. I wrote down what I could remember, and over about a month, I worked out a lot of the rest. And not here, we didn't have this lab yet. And it changed as I was working on it, I think. And it's an infinite distance quantum entangled communicator of some kind. Jackie has followed most of the information, but the math has become progressively more esoteric, and she wasn't sure she had fully digested the impact of what they were telling her. Jackie looks back and forth between the two and has a moment where she's sure she's missing some kind of telepathic communication. Something gets decided, and Lakshmi suddenly stands up and starts pacing. Okay, don't freak out. Let me show you something on the laptop. As she says this, Doug is pulling up some kind of simulation program on the old machine. Yes, I originally thought this was a way to create Q-matter objects with certain quantum properties that would maintain entanglement when the material was split into two halves. And then information could be passed between the two regardless of distance. Doug has pressed buttons, and a simulated object gets created on the screen, splits in two, and the two halves float to opposite sides of the screen. The halves blip in unison as if Morse code or binary pulses are sent between them. It's pretty standard stuff, at least in terms of quantum properties. Imagine very long distance phones, because I originally thought you'd be able to cram a fairly dense data stream through them. Jackie nods at this because it's true. What she knows about quantum entanglement covers this basic element, the idea of information being passed regardless of distance. But then, as I was playing with the maths, I realized if you created a torus of the material and split it precisely while running a high energy current through it, what you'd get would be an aperture of any width through which any normal matter object could pass through the opening while traversing zero internal distance, regardless of the physical distance of the ring halves themselves. Doug has pressed more buttons, and on the screen, indeed, a glowing blue torus has been created, then halved, with each half sent to opposite sides of the screen. This time, a green three-dimensional cube approaches the half on the right side of the screen and passes through, instantly popping out of the left half without crossing the middle of the screen. Lakshmi and Doug are watching her, eagle-eyed, and she's trying not to gape at the screen. So you've invented what? Portals? Stargates? She leans forward dramatically. Have you invented stargates? Lakshmi claps, delighted. Yes, yes. I mean, no, not stargates, not really, not exactly, but portals, yes. Or quantum doors, or I don't know what we call them. There are some huge limits. Lakshmi is glowing, caught up in the thrill of revealing her discovery. The music in the background has shifted to a plaintive love song, and it is dissonant to the mood of the room, a sorrowful longing at odds with the astonishment inside of Jackie. Jackie shakes her head as if waking from a reverie and purses her lips to blow out the lung-filled air she didn't realize she'd been holding in an accidental off-tune whistle. Lakshmi, this is amazing, truly incredible, but I have to ask, why do you need me? I mean, I can follow the math up to a point, but I'm a software engineer and a modeler and maybe on the down low a decent white hat, but this, she motions towards the screen and shrugs halfway through as if she's making a half-assed attempt to throw a ball. She looks at Doug. You were right. It's big, big, big. Doug shoots a finger at Jackie, pointing. See? I told you. Lakshmi grins at her. So you're not going to run away screaming? Jackie laughs, and again Doug seems startled at the sound, while it just makes Lakshmi smile even wider. I'm not running away screaming, but my mind is blown a little. And again, I'm not sure how I can help. Lakshmi nods. She holds up a hand and starts ticking items off her list. 1, I need top-level security here. The plans only exist on this one ancient laptop that I take everywhere with me, and I erase the maths from the board every night when I leave. I need an ultra-safe place to work. I need somewhere to store this where I am sure no one can hack it, not even the feds. 2, the devices are going to need robust control mechanisms. For one thing, they need a steady supply of constant power. She pauses as if debating adding more detail. Jackie interjects. But I'm not an electrical engineer. But I am, interrupts Doug. I can do the fancy wiring. Bad jokes and fancy wiring are my contribution to Team Awesome. But we need strong proprietary software to control the devices. Jackie nods at this, and it makes sense. Like to switch the portal from Paris, Texas to Paris, France kind of thing? Lakshmi sighs a little and shakes her head. No, actually, sorry. We didn't cover that part yet. I said there were some limitations, and they're fairly hard and fast ones at that. Once the portal pair gets created, they are permanently locked to each other, and only if there's a constant flow of power to both devices. What happens if one or both loses power? Jackie asks, bracing herself for the worst. Lakshmi and Doug trade a glance. Nothing. says Lakshmi. Nothing? Well, that's just it. If one or both completely lose power completely, they lose entanglement. It just stops and it can't be turned back on. Look, imagine the pair has 3 states. There's on, which means they're both at full power and the aperture is open between them. Full power varies, by the way, on the size of the portal and not the distance. Big portals take more, etc. And then there's a low power state, which means that the aperture isn't open between them, but they're still connected in a quantum entangled state. And then there's off, completely unpowered, one or both, which is disaster because it means you've lost entanglement, and no matter how much power you dump into them afterwards, you can't get it back. You then just have very expensive loops of manufactured diamond. Diamond? Lakshmi nods and holds her hand back up with 2 fingers out and raises a third. And that gets me back to my list. 3D printing techniques have gotten pretty advanced, but the means to print what we need exists only in one place, and it isn't here. Number 3 is that I need help from someone very specific. There's a guy I met once and have been in touch with over the years who I think can help. His name is Caleb Sims, and he's my peer at Caltech. I need him to review the maths with me, and if it works, he has access to the only set of equipment I know of that can make test runs of this stuff. And you need me, Jackie starts. I need you because I need to talk to Caleb secretly in a completely unhackable and untraceable way. Jackie laughs again, but in a gentler way. She runs her gloves through her hair, vaguely conscious that this is her tell. Look, I'm in, all right. I signed your agreements, and this is so fucking huge. I can't walk away now, but you know what you're asking, right? Lakshmi nods. The NCR is our ally, but if we get caught communicating scientific secrets from a research lab across national borders for something so revolutionary, she trails off for a moment. If they catch us, we will likely be charged with treason. Jackie can see the color rising in Doug's face, and Lakshmi's warm brown eyes have taken on a hard sheen. They look at each other, and then they both look up at her, nodding. We know. We talked about it. We know what we're doing. And we have to do this. I can't just walk away from this. God or the universe or Shiva or Ganesha or my namesake or whoever gave this thing to me in a dream, if it's real and we can make it work, I can't hand it over. It's mine. I have to do it. The steel in Lakshmi's voice matches the hard determination in her eyes. Doug is nodding. And I go where she goes, he says simply. Jackie looks back and forth between them. Oh, fuck, she thinks. I wanted something big, and this could not be any bigger. The music in the background shifts to something wild and upbeat and celebratory, a howl of joy turned into a song. It seems fitting. She grins at her 2 new friends and colleagues, and she knows there's a wildness in her smile that matches the hype of the song. Okay then, let's do this. Let's break some rules and change the world. And scene.
Okay. Beautiful, Lawrence. I am going to go put us back. Actually, I'm just going to play with all the modes. How about a 2/3, 1/3 split?
Yes, very nice.
Since I'm interviewing you, or should we just go back to 50-50?
50-50 is fine by me.
Okay. There we go. This is so fun. I'll stop playing now. Wow. So the story is getting more harrowing, Lawrence. We've got treason on the table.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, what happened? Lawrence, where did you go?
My foot kicked my camera cord under the desk and I went bouncing away. Sorry about that.
I feel like we should take photos of our setups, like not what's behind us, but what we're looking at, because I have a ring light propped on a coffee mug. And it would be funny to get a behind the scenes view.
Yeah. I basically got like a studio set up here, but it's still kind of somewhat janky because
oh, look, you're doing it.
I'm doing it
fine.
now. I'll post it in the recap.
Okay, fine. I'll do it too. Hold on. Let me step back because I'm wired. Hold on. My
Oh,
camera.
thank you, Melissa. Melissa says, "I love so much that you read your characters in their varying accents." Thank
Yes.
you. I feel weird doing that, but also like that's literally what they sound like in my head. So
Right. Okay. I've gotten the photo, and I have no questions prepared because I'm hearing this story. Like, it's my first time hearing it through. Um, why don't you tell us? Um, tell me what I should ask you. No, no, not that. But let's have a conversation about this.
mm.
How is this moving the plot forward? Tell us.
um, yeah, well, this is a pretty significant plot moment because the I think I've said this previously. The conceit of the book is there are two kind of primary things that are in friction in the book. One is that the world has been shattered by the second civil war and the crash, the smash, the flash, all those things that we've kind of talked about in previous chapters. And the world has been in sort of this depression for almost 20 years basically. Some places doing better than others, and the tension is the invention of this new technology, right? Like, I
Hmm.
think, you know, rare every once in a while in human history, an invention comes along that really truly does change everything.
Right.
And this is one of those things that has the potential to really truly change everything. And further in the book, we kind of explore the um uh kind of the ramifications, right? Because if you can create these quantum linked portals that are connected regardless of distance, then you could sneak one into an enemy country, right? Sneak one end into an enemy country, and then suddenly you've got an invasion force coming within, the enemy country where they never expected it, right? Or
Right.
you put one on a rocket and shoot it to the moon, and suddenly you can step through from someplace on Earth into the moon. And then, of course, you would need to be in an airlock because blah, blah, blah. There's no air on the moon. Uh, so like that idea really excites me of what would it be like if we actually invented this and had the opportunity to use it, to roll it out, and to suddenly discover all the crazy things we could do with it. Like there's a silly plot point that I really, really want to get to, but it's not even until like the next book or the book after that, which is
Yeah.
the kingdom of Deseret, the Mormon nation that gets formed out of Utah, ends up signing into this alliance eventually, and they get access to this technology. And the thing that they want to do is they want to refill ancient Lake Bonneville. They want to take the Great Salt Lake and uh,
Oh.
fill it back to its ancient borders of basically being this massive inland sea. And so they do that. They, stick one end like in the Antarctic waters to capture, fresh glacier melt and fill it, refill up ancient Lake Bonneville, which would change their climate, right? Which would allow them to be much more agrarian and kind of counteract the effects of climate change, at least
Right.
locally.
And would make Deseret no longer the best name for them, really.
Well, Deseret doesn't mean desert.
Right. But it sounds like desert.
It does sound like desert. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. The bathrobe guy in the comments. They started a new diner on the moon. The food is great, but there's no atmosphere.
Right. Ba-dum-ba.
We'll be
Thank
here
you
all
very much.
we will be here all day, folks. It is I am noting that as you were reading this, and everyone, half the folks in the chat are like, Lawrence's voice is so beautiful. This is really interesting science. And the other half are like, Trump is on TV. He's talking about crazy shit. You've got fiction going on at the same time as nonfiction.
Oh yeah. So just said, I hate to report this, but Aaron just posted Trump places DC police under federal control and deploys National Guard.
Right.
Mm.
Mm. Why is this happening right now, Lawrence? Do you have a sense for like literally why Monday morning at almost 8 a.m. Pacific time.
I,
What's
I mean, I,
happening?
I think everything in the last month all comes back to one thing, which is the Trump Epstein files. That this is yet another distraction technique. He wants an excuse to declare martial law nationally, and currently he doesn't have a reason, right? Like the LA thing ended up, it being a joke, right? Because
Right.
they got things under control without the National Guard, without the Marines,
Right.
and like he is desperately trying to distract. He wants to stir shit up so that he has an excuse to distract.
Got it. But yeah, now what? What do we? Is he doing this so that people do take to the streets?
I
There are
think
riots,
probably
and then there's more of a cause
yeah,
for martial law.
right. Like the ideal outcome for Trump in this
Yeah.
is that the population of DC, which we all know is very minority, there's a large
Mhm.
Black and Latino population in DC. And what Trump wants more than anything else is pictures of people of color rioting in the streets of Washington, D.C. Hopefully, I'm saying hopefully in his mind, he's, oh, please, please let them smash. I can't do a good Trump, but,
I like when you do it.
you
It
know,
makes me
oh,
laugh.
let them smash windows. Oh, that would be so beautiful if they smashed windows at Starbucks. And I don't like Starbucks. Starbucks is bad. And
Liberal city.
right, Liberal City, smash the windows and set fire to cars, and then then he can like take over and he can declare national martial law, and yeah,
We said we wouldn't be emphasizing politics, but I think when it's happening real time
yeah.
during a show,
This is the problem, right? Is that
yes,
in the era of Trump, politics literally happens in real time. Yeah, remember when Obama was president and there were like entire weeks at a time where you didn't hear about the president or
I remember when Biden was president and we could go to brunch and be like, everything's, nothing's perfect, but like nothing's on fire. And
yeah,
they're not trying to catch our attention. It's not everything isn't this like delirious, nonsensical mess. Like, why would you declare effectively martial law in DC today? There's nothing happening.
right. It's
It
absolutely
makes no sense.
right. So the tweet that he posted on Trump Social, or whatever the fuck it's called, Truth Social. I refuse to call it a truth. I refuse to call. Yeah, it's just a fucking
Yeah,
tweet.
this bullshit network. We need a name for it. We'll have to come up with something
Yeah,
that we call it.
he was like, oh, DC has is filled with trash and it's bit run down and blah blah blah, and
It needs more gilding.
right, honestly, like everyone has seen the ridiculous amount of gilding he's applied to the White House, which
The
is
Gold House.
vomitously like overdone. It is not
Gross.
fucking Versailles, for God's sake.
No, I am a maximalist. What he's doing is disgusting.
I can be a maximalist too, and what he's doing there is insanely bad.
It's trash.
And and I mean, he part of his complaint is he wants DC to make DC beautiful again.
Ugh, beautiful.
NDBA or whatever.
Golden toilets in the Dunkin' Donuts or something. I am going to refuse to panic about this.
Right.
We're almost
Melissa
at the top.
has a
Yeah.
really good point of, she says, I'm supposed to take my trans son to DC for a concert in a month. Are there going to be federal guards on the streets asking for our IDs? And what happens when my son's ID doesn't match his appearance? I literally don't know how concerned I should be. Yeah.
Concerned?
Yeah, pretty concerned, I think. Like, what if they ask for your IDs? I mean, let me amend that. White Americans, right? Like I fully acknowledge that I have lived my life embodied in white privilege and male privilege and straight looking privilege and all, non-Jewish looking privileges, all the
All
privileges.
the privileges.
And yeah, like I would be scared that somebody wearing, carrying a gun, whether they're wearing a uniform or not, but somebody like dressed Gestapo like and carrying a gun could ask you for your ID. And we literally don't know what would happen in this country right now if you said no, which, would be your right, at least as far as I understand them, unless
Right.
there is an actual emergency or warrant for your arrest, or, I don't, we're at the point where regular people don't know what is appropriate and not appropriate. If a police officer with a badge asked me for my ID, I wouldn't be thrilled about it, but I would show them my ID, right? If
Right.
TSA in the airport asked me for my ID, I show them because I know why they're asking. But if a random person with a gun on the street asks for my ID, I'm pretty sure and concerned that my response would be, fuck you, absolutely not. You show me your ID first.
Right? Show me yours first. I like that. I'm a big fan of concerts, Melissa, and I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it's being alarmist to say don't go or if it's being very practical, because this is unprecedented. Again, all the
Again.
unprecedenteds. It is also the top of the hour, and I am about to go on live with Nick Pero to talk about parenting in an
You
era
are
of
talking to Nick
fascism.
and Soso. That is super exciting.
And Sosa will be there too. Yeah, this is going to be a
That's great. And I think
the Joni
I hope
Levitz
I'm not
trilogy.
ruining your surprise. I think
What?
Nick has Restream up and running as well. So
I messaged Nick if you're still on. I was like, I'm not sure where I'm joining, if it's Restream or live, but I will be over there in a moment. Before we drop, I wanted to first say thanks to everybody for your feedback. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your reading, Lawrence.
thanks for
Join
letting
us, of course. Join us tomorrow. I will be talking about a story I just published today called Falling in Love Through My Thumbs Part 1. And it is about the idea of can we fall in love with people who we only know through the internet? And I would imagine that lots and lots of people have stories like this.
I've got a story.
I know we're going to talk about both of our stories. We want to hear your stories. This is a part 1, so you will have to stay tuned for part 2 to hear how that story continues on. But really looking forward to that one tomorrow. And it's been lovely to be here today, except for the whole martial law in DC part. But if we have to experience it, I'm happy to have done it with all of you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us as we grow. And like Dana said, thank you for being here and for all of your support and love. And let us know, like, if you've got feedback, if you didn't want to put it in the chat and you want to DM us directly, let us know. We'd love to hear it sincerely and truly. And we won't be offended by any feedback that you provide. We're asking with pure intent here. So thanks for being here. Have a great time on your next show with Nick and Soso.
Thank you. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye. Mwah. Mwah.
Mwah, 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 mwah.